Yep, I'm bugged, definitely. That is the second time that my computer's done that. I had about an hour long, of... My god. Okay, I'm doing, some things on the tutorial, in the orientation. I'm taking out, some extra time to study, the content. Not just figure out how it works, but to study what's in it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to or not, but I am. I've got some good things and some bad things to say about this one. Animation's awesome. The effect that they got, it's almost, like you're looking at the book. Beyond my rant on the 7 layers of hell, on the 9 layers of hell, I have issues. I believe in a totally different system. And, I really hope that I don't get a judge that likes Dante. Because I don't agree with Dante. There's, a couple of layers where they say that, they're lacking something. Well, it's a fancy way of saying the same thing that they were saying that this person was in hell for. In purgatory. Not purgatory. In hell. In the layers of hell. All they do is they word it differently, make it sound better, and honestly, the way that he describes God unconsciously, I don't know if he knows it or not. He's describing God with a superiority complex from hell. The Bible does the same thing. He threw a temper tantrum and destroyed 2 cities. Your God's an ass. No offense, but a lot of people are assholes, but God's an asshole with the ability to destroy cities. I'm so glad I don't believe in him. Mine wouldn't do that. I will completely admit mine is make your choice. Click here to continue. I had to start over because everything started over. Okay, we were just doing Saturn. Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, the moon is weird. Okay, these people have broken one promise. One. Their entire life they broke one promise, so they're exiled to the moon. Now, to me the moon seems like a pretty awesome place. I don't know. Okay, the fixed stars. Essentially the only difference between, and they've got this one where they, give an example that this God mercilessly, separated 2 people. To me, psychologically, these people are in love, because one didn't say, I love you, Jesus, and one did. One went to heaven, and one didn't. Okay. Here's what I think. Any God who separates families is no God that I will follow. Ever. In this life, in the next, I do not care. The God that supports the separation of families will never have my vote. In my religion, you don't separate families. So yeah, CBS is not just against the Constitution, it's against my religion. Yeah, it's actually against the Constitution. Your inalienable rights? Yeah, one of those is family. But nobody goes up against them because everybody does acknowledge that somewhere out there, they're supposed to protect the constitutional rights, the unalienable rights of your kids to not be abused. But the problem is, a lot of times, they don't follow that. I believe, that they should, come up with a different way of handling that. A lot of things I believe about that. They really should not make it that easy for them to take your kids, though. There was no abuse. They just accused me of thinking that my cat was a person, didn't believe me whenever I told them I didn't. I mean, everybody has little things that CPS would find wrong if they walked into your house. It's true. Everybody has something. I've walked into people's houses and seen they hadn't taken out the trash yet. It was overflowing. Small children. They didn't have time yet. Walked in and seen dishes. I've seen a lot of different things. At any given time, everyone has something wrong like that. I mean, something that you're about to fix, something that you're in the middle of doing. Everyone has something in their life that CPS can twist. And I honestly think that they should have more proof. Make it harder. If they want to say, you know, that a child's getting beaten, they better damn well walk in with a camera of you doing it. Yes, I have no doubt. I mean, if they're allowed to sit out in front of your apartment and survey you for no matter how long or how short of a time, I should have walked out with my camera and took a picture then. It didn't happen a lot, but it did happen. I kept on asking, why is this person sitting outside my apartment with a clipboard? I still don't know for sure if it was that. I know that an old friend from high school was stalking me. I didn't find that out till later. So that one was identified. They never told me, you know, if they were doing it in person or through somebody else. It has the superiority complex. It doesn't like me pointing that out. Never liked me pointing that out. I'm not the most observant tool in the shed, either. Well, he's not a tool, but certainly turned most of the women in the school into them. At least from what he tells it. And you know what? From those groups of girls, I had no idea we were actually talking about him. He really did tap quite a few. Yeah, I'm not saying which one's on here. Yeah, when we realized that even though I was a friend of his, and we spent a lot of time around each other, that I had no idea what they were talking about. Yeah. They shut up. It was like they were afraid to say something. What? Because... yeah. They slept with my best friend in high school. I mean, I had a couple of best friends, but... yeah, oh my god. And of course, you know, in high school I had this reputation, you know, I didn't want anybody to hit on me, and I didn't want them to touch me, so I pretended that I didn't know what sex was to the best of my ability. Well, it's weird, I pretended, you know, they called me virgin years. I think at least some people realized that I was pretending to get them to leave me alone, because, you know, if you pretended that you were ignorant, the guys stopped hitting on you. I had a few that hit on me. I wasn't pretty. I just think that those guys, you know, just... yeah. I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to be anywhere near sex. The extent that I went near it, was a dirty romance novel in my teenage years. I don't even read it anymore. Still have it though. Well, it does have a good storyline, and I've got it pretty much memorized, so I can skip those. Sorry. Okay. The host of crabs are oh god. Oh hell, they're like, Blunt! It's gonna be horrible! It's gonna be horrible! This and this and this is gonna happen! But they never, like, say anything except that heaven is awesome. And then let your imagination create it. This person must have been really frustrated. Because that last one had several different quotes. You know, so I get like this weirdness of maybe, you know, they were just trying to like express what is in that, but it's difficult. Because Dante really, his whole way of talking changes whenever he gets to heaven. It's like, it's great, it's awesome, this awesome thing happens. I'm not telling you enough about what kind of people are there and what happens to them while there. And for all you know, it could just be like hell except prettier. Ooh, I am so putting that in my version of Dante. Yes, my version of Dante. Walks into heaven. Says, oh my god, it's just like hell. Is that prettier? I can't write that. Nobody will worship God. I'm sorry, I can't come straight from this other but this is awesome. Somebody should turn that into a video game. Yay, I have ideas. I could so do this. This is awesome. I'm sorry. Did I mention that I'm going to school for something that I actually enjoy doing? Yes, I did. Okay. I still plan on going to other colleges after. After, you know, I'm established. I have lots of dreams. And just because other people don't think that I can do them all, I can! I will someday do them all. And you know what? They will eat those words. Because I will do them. I told them, you know, it won't always be happy. I will enjoy it. Because I will be doing what I love. Now, no offense, but cracking on certain aspects of religion is a guilty pleasure of mine. So yeah, there's not really anything to crack at in Buddhism. There's not. They're pretty general. I mean, they don't really tell you what happens if you're bad or what happens if you're good, just that you should strive for your inner peace. I've seen plenty of people, you know, make fun of the, yeah, about all you can make fun of in any respect is the statue and how it has many, many arms, which isn't really anything to make fun of. And, the fingers. I got made fun of for doing that in high school. Actually, it's an actual thing where the energies of your body can connect. Yes, you're correct if you're thinking that I like to meditate. But no, it's not just done with your fingers. As long as you know there's like a circular area. Okay, lots of people meditate. What? I don't even start. and there's pictures of, oh my god, I should, and then in this part, I can have, I might actually, read all the way through Dante, if I can, like, make fun of it. And I think I will call it What Dante Didn't Tell You. What Dante Didn't Say. And in the end, your only reward is being closer to God. Because in essence, that's all it is. You're closer to God and everything's prettier. I mean, there's awesome things happening around you. That's it. You're closer to God. I am so gonna make fun of this. Awesome! I'm making fun of this and having awesome fun letting you, like, thinking of how it should look. Yes! Awesomeness! Nobody stole my idea. It's mine! I will do this someday. What? I have lots of dreams. And I will do them all while being a mom and working and yeah. I'm so giddy, I'm like a little kid right now. Yeah, happiness is an immature emotion to me, just because I haven't had a lot in my life, so, when I get it, it's really hard to contain, so I go, and I get all weird. Yeah. Did I mention that I'm a naturally hyper person? Oh, my awesomeness. Wait. That was 2 sentences at once that came out so wrong. Okay, I am not awesome. I was trying to say oh my and awesomeness at the same time, and they're 2 different things. I'm gonna shut up about that now. Probably digging myself in a hole or something. Figuratively, of course. Oh, wait. Hold the phone. Okay. Okay, I do not like this. Okay. They're saying that Mary was the mother of Jesus. So essentially she's God's wife. Why isn't she with him? Instead, they have her in the fixed stars. Which is, so they've got this whole thing called the crystalline between her and where God is. So wait, she could get close enough to have his kid. So they don't have that excuse, obviously. I mean, seriously. And if he couldn't fix it so that she could be with him, then you can't say that he's all powerful. It's like that question, can God make a chili dog that he can't eat? You should do a cartoon on that too. What? I could make a living off of this. All of my hostility can be channeled into something good that can make people laugh. I've been really angry and offended. Which, as long as they don't make it my problem, I don't really care. Yeah, that's true. I don't really care. I mean, whenever I walk down the street, I don't care if they're offended, that I'm fat and ugly and need to put my head in the paper bag. I'm not going to do it. Because I don't think, I've seen unattractive people without their heads in paper bags. And a lot of people are unattractive in other ways. They're not hiding their unattractiveness. Why should I? So I'm comfortable being ugly. Okay. That's right. It's the way I am. Okay, we have more lines of angels singing. It looks almost just like the fixed stars. The crystalline heaven. It has a different quote. And in the circle, light and love enclose it, and the enclosing only he who encloses understands. No other heaven measures the sphere's motion, but it serves as the measure for the rest. So, in fancy words, he's essentially saying nothing. Bullshit! Wait. I could have so much fun playing with this. Ooh. You know what? It would really appeal, to those who aren't Christian, who actually watch TV. And you know what? Christians couldn't really argue because, about it being on TV because it's fantasy. Not only that, but you can't really dispute what wasn't said because it wasn't said. And it's not Christian programming. it's atheist and everybody else programming. I mean, they make up their own stories about witches and whatnot. Why can't I make up mine about, what he didn't say? Besides, we really don't know. That's what makes it so fun to imagine. It's only fun for me because in a nutshell, they're just, besides telling you, whenever he does say something wrong about the people, it's not something wrong. He's saying that they're lacking something. And how they focus on what they lack, turn it into a word, turn it around, and it's a sin. In heaven, it's just lacking something. I could so fuck with this for a cartoon. I'd enjoy it. Only thing is, anywhere that I work has to understand that whenever I'm creating something, I'm prone to remember something. Yeah, I'm weird, and a bit eccentric at times. Hee. Yeah, I really don't want to read tarot cards forever on the phone. I mean, I kind of enjoy it, but no offense, but, you could say I have higher dreams than that. That's what college is for. Wait. Awesome! Okay, we have rows of angels again. Wait, no, we have clouds still. Oh, what's this? Ooh. Okay. This doesn't look much different than hell, except it's brighter. Oh my god, it is angels. No, it's dragons. Are angels or dragons or angels? Okay, so those angels look like dragons. I could so fuck with that too. Awesome! Dragons are above angels! Oh, having fun. Yeah. Could be fun. One project at a time. Focus. But I really want to work on it. Someday. I must focus on someday. When Dante and Beatrice enter the sphere, they are able to see all of the orders of angels in heaven surrounding God, who appears a bright point of light. In order to effect change in all the other spheres of heaven and on earth, God is able to directly move his sphere to suit his whim in the last sphere of physical existence. Okay? So there's an entire part of heaven that is made solely for him to exercise his will, because apparently he doesn't have enough of a power trip destroying entire cities on Earth. Wow. Did God have anger problems? Oh, I could just picture this. God sitting in anger management. And Mary is in a different sphere because they're separated. And he's paying alimony. It's because he has anger issues. She had issues with the last bit that he destroyed. I mean, in the Bible, has anybody ever realized after Jesus was born, and like shortly before, he stopped just randomly destroying stuff? You could say that she made him go to anger management. He goes to destroy a city, and she's sitting there. Sorry, I can't keep a straight face. And honestly, if anybody argues, you know that it's not true. You know what I can argue? The original text of the Bible that it was translated from, if you go, find anything that has a direct translation, that is not the direct translation. Whether they believe it or not is irrelevant. If they want to argue factoids, I've got my own. Hey, if you're going to make fun of religion, you have to know what you're making fun of. I make fun of my own. If that makes a difference. I make fun of Satanism, too. I could so make an awesome animation out of this. At the same time, I'm working on a story that is quite the opposite. So please keep in mind, I do not, just hate on all religions. It's just the secret pleasure that I have that isn't so secret anymore. I like creating things, and I secretly enjoy poking holes and creating stuff out of the holes that I poke. Fill in the holes. You poke a hole in something, and you fill it in. So yeah, that's how I based this entire... I need to write this down afterwards. But there's no writing it down. It has to be a combination, with voice records, writing it down, and drawing, and I'm one of those weird people. To create something, I have to use multiple mediums. It slows me down. But, yeah. Awesome! Yes, yeah, I'm having fun, acting like a bouncy little kid, okay. Yeah, so, it exists solely because the Earth is apparently not big enough for him to have a power trip. I imagine that one, being his anger management classroom, an entire realm just for him to write, I hate this person. There's a board. I will not, I could just imagine this, him writing, as Mary stands there with Jesus behind her, going, Dad's in trouble again. Wow. Well, at least I never told, you could just imagine, could you imagine the look on her face? Staring at him all motherly and crap after he turns his back on Jesus? He probably didn't get any for, since they say that God lives forever, for a while. I could just picture him on this couch made of clouds. Awesome! And our saint, next time you let our son get killed, you better hope you don't have to bring him back. Wait, what? Exactly! Well, what do you mean? Yes, dear. I mean, couldn't you? Okay, and then you've got the God's throne. Oh my god, this is awesomeness. Okay, in the deep, bright essence of that exalted light, 3 circles appear to me. One circle seems reflected by the second, the rainbow is by rainbow, and the third seems fire breathed equally to those 2 circles. So basically he's saying that it's incorporeal. In fashion as snow-white rose, as a snow-white rose lighted a saintly multiple, which in his own blood Christ espoused, faces had they of flame and wings of gold. The rest was whiter than the driven snow, but already my desire, my will being turned like a wheel, all at one speed. Okay, I'm gonna say again, nobody stole my ideas. This is awesome. These ideas are mine, and one day I will use them. Nobody steal them. Awesome! Oh, wait. Well, I'm waiting for this to load. Wait. I got one. Could you just imagine him sitting here with this ego complex and Mary sitting behind him going, And you know how guys, sometimes, guys say, I wish I could take the pain of childbirth from you. Imagine God saying that. Who needs an epidural? Couldn't you just picture that? She's laying there going, He's like, I wish I could then do it! He's like, but that looks like it hurts. I can't keep a straight face. But that looks like it hurts. Do it! And like, yeah, apparently because, she's like, no powers, but apparently, she suddenly has them because he's scared and things start happening. The very skies start to tremble. What guy isn't afraid of his wife in labor? I mean, I got pretty colorful in that delivery room. Yeah. Especially going on the complications. I mean, I just went... There were words flying out in other languages. Yeah. I didn't even remember hearing those words. Yeah. My mom liked languages too, so I was highly exposed to languages. I don't even remember half of what I said while I was in labor. You know why? I was in a lot of pain and it was just coming out, and I do, however, remember the nurse saying, I've never heard that combination before. So yeah, I do, however, also remember cursing out my husband in Japanese and French and Spanish. I think there were a little bit of German. Yeah, they were words, that I was taught growing up that I completely forgot about until that moment. For some things, I still don't know what I said. All I know is everybody looked at me like, let's not ever get her mad. Now imagine God's wife. Now imagine the other woman. Wait, could you imagine, if God had a wife before Mary? Because in the original translation, Lord God actually translates into a male and female. There there is a basis for this, you know. So, what if, you know, Mary was his mistress? And, I could so incorporate that into my story. Sorry, I'm working on an actual story. Actually, a lot of those ideas were kind of, you know, combined with this weirdo and his perception of it, and then, my awesome ideas of, hey, I may not be awesome, but my ideas are awesome. Don't ask. And then, I could, yeah. I have a story that I've been working on. I could so work on that. She's his mistress! Ooh. But in the animation, should I keep it the mistress? Or should I keep it with the story? Ow! Yeah, nobody used any of this stuff. I would not hesitate to copyright you. Or, you know, actually, you know, speak up and say, this is my idea! Yeah. I have no problem doing that. I'm gonna have to make copies of this video. Because I really do not, you know. Big companies can get pretty nasty whenever they're taking something from somebody. Yeah, I have no desire to be stolen from. I'm gonna stop talking like that now. Okay, so one day I will turn this morbid raving into a comedy. Some people will hate it. Some people will love it. And for the rest, they're not explaining this at all. They're just showing us two people standing and shining bright light. Oh, and all the energy looks, you know, like a bunch of angels, you know, destroyed and disembodied. So I could, you know, just picture, you know, them standing there, and the very walls of this place are made out of it, and then you see God there eating one of the angels, and you go, oh my God! And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, and it turns out that the angels have unintelligent counterparts that double as God's fruit. I mean, once you do that big, I mean, you kind of surmise he has to eat something. Of course, you know, there'll be an argument about that. God does not eat! Well, how do you know that? Because he's God. He can do anything. Okay, then that means that he can eat. Right? I guess so. Then he eats! I'm sorry. I do, in fact, you know, think God, what could they possibly say? Well, I'm creating something, you know. Sometimes that's part of my problem. Because I just want to, you know, let it flow, like, awesome! Ideas. Awesome! Actually, that's my biggest hurdle, you know, with the story that I'm writing. I sit here and I say, how could this be used against me in a court of psychiatry? Yes, I realize there's not actually a court of psychiatry. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. As far as I know, Social Security does not actually consider what I do work, unless, you know, you're getting an actual income. I have not even got my first paycheck. But, that's more my fault, because I kind of have to go, submit the paperwork. And I just figured out how to go about that. So I'm going to do that. I just have to, confirm that I can do that. I had found a different way, but there was no way to do it in a timely manner. And, there were some snags in that idea. So, it's tossed. I'm one of those people that overthinks. Whenever I'm not overthinking and I'm just having fun, I come up with the most awesome ideas. And when I'm not, I live in what if land. Which is not a good place, speaking as part of my brain is always trapped in the past. Part of me is always left remembering. I mean, all you do is you learn to push it to the back of your head. So basically, I've been raped, cut open, watched the death of both of my parents, watched my brother witness the death of my mother. Yeah, believe it or not, you can in fact, stand where you can see both at once. And they will both stand out in your head just as clearly. So you know what? I get to replay those moments for the rest of my life in my head. They won't stop. Everything that is, and you know what? It's really hard to live with everything replaying. Sometimes it's at once. That makes it more intense. Sometimes it's not all at once. But you know what? Nevertheless, it's really hard. So whenever I start thinking and go into what if land, oh, don't get me wrong, you know what? After reading a smut as a teenager, I went and started, trying to write a lemon for fanfiction. You know what happened? Rape. I mean, not. I basically wrote a rape scene. That's not a lemon, by the way. At least I don't think it is. I don't even know if they have a name for that. I think they just call that NC-17, which is not allowed on fanfiction.net. Oh god, I hope nobody goes and finds my profile there. I've had it pretty much forever. It's not the same one that I had in high school, though. Yeah. Unfortunately, having a personality that was kept on the front so much did not always keep it, under wraps whenever I was by myself. Created for appearances only. So whenever people are not the same thing, as they are the inside as they are on the outside, I kind of get a little weird. I get a little upset about that. Disappointed. Because people often put up a front, of being awesome, and they're not awesome. Some people put up a front of being totally not awesome, and they are awesome, but then they're not, because it shines through in everything, and it's weird. I think those people have some weird half-split or something. Society, though, does, in fact, make a mask of some sort necessary. I mean, unless you're, contributing to your community, and you've got, a bunch of people to vouch for you, you're pretty much subject. I could make a very serious thing on that, too. Story of my life. Yeah. Add in a bit of fantasy there. Make a good fantasy book, because most people do not want to believe that stuff happens in real life. They don't want to believe that grandmothers can be evil. Makes me picture this weird, really evil version of Little Red Riding Hood. I mean, what would happen if it wasn't the wolf that was evil? It was the grandma. I mean, what if the wolf was good? What if the grandma was like my grandmother? See, my life gives me ideas. Oh, my life was horrible. But there is a good part, That movie would be more not a little kid's tale. It would make Grim look not twisted. And already, it plays in my head. The problem is getting it out. yeah, the whole story is already happening in my head. Like, my brain's already gone through the whole entire idea and decided that, you know, it's awesome. But then we move on because my hands cannot move fast enough to express what is in my brain. I mean, I have no medium, you know, to let it out efficiently, so it's not going to happen. Although, as soon as I can do it on paper. Actually, on the computer it's faster, you know, unless you're using a mouse. I imagine, anyway. Because drawing's faster, it's the coloring that's not, and there's a lack of awesomeness, no offense, without color. I like my colors. You might even say I'm obsessed with colors. But at the same time, I hate them on me. I prefer my dark colors. Anyway. Back to the god with the superiority complex surrounded by dead angels and stuff. And God is a perverted old man. I'm sorry, I was having too much fun there. I mean, it's so fun to make fun of. Because I know, you know, I shouldn't, because people actually believe in Dante's theory. But it's called a theory for a reason. And I want to make fun of it. I wonder if I can make a living making fun of this. I mean, I enjoy doing it. This is how my brain works. How do they describe the inner circle? Okay, so far I've gotten this vague form of awesome on every page. And you know what they'll say? They'll say, the reason why there isn't detail is because he was so odd that he could think of nothing else to say. Well, then how come whenever he went to hell he wasn't so horror-struck that there was nothing left to say? I mean, no offense, but when you're watching somebody die or whatnot, you're not thinking of words to say. Those come later. At the time, you're frozen. You're frozen still in fear, in everything. And your entire world feels like it's cracking. So you know what? I can tell you, Dante, he wasn't being vague because he was odd. So, here's what I want to do. I want to make something off of the what ifs of Dante. I think I'll call it, you know what, maybe I won't call it what Dante didn't say. The what ifs of Dante? Religion Unleashed. I could so make fun of all of the religions on my own. You know, that usually shuts them up. If you make fun of your own, and you say, well, I make fun of my religion, why can't I make fun of yours? I'm indiscriminate. I mean, it's for humor. And to be perfectly honest, if I make fun of it, then it doesn't irritate me. Because the way that Dante talks is irritating! I mean, if somebody came up to me in real life and talked to me like that, I mean, Dante describing heaven is like a seer describing a tarot reading. Hell, that has more detail. I'm not saying that I'm a seer. I'm just, you know, saying that tarot readings are less, you know, vague, just using major arcana. And no talent just reading the cards is more vague. I mean, it's less vague than Dante talking about heaven. And no offense, but for seers, generally there's a lot of fuzziness. I was taught that stuff, sorry. I believe in this stuff. It is part of my religion. Yay! All the stuff that Christianity says is a sin inherently with no explanation as to why, except, you're taking power from God! Well, I'm sorry. Did I choose to be born different? religiously it is believed you are born that way. You do not choose it, you are born that way. Some people can choose it, but you cannot actually give it up. You can just ignore it, which is actually a disservice. To ignore a gift that you are born with is a disservice. Which is kind of weird because I just think, it's a personal choice. Do you ignore that deep connection with the earth that you have? Or do you follow it? See, those that have it, though, generally automatically harbor a wish to follow it. So, even if my kids were to choose not to follow, because no offense, they've both showed signs that they may be naturals. You don't know really till later, though. Lots of kids show signs young, and they lose it with their innocence. It all depends. Do they lose it, or do they keep it? I don't know yet, but if they were to choose to follow a different path, as long as they followed what was in their hearts, I'd be proud of them. I know. It's weird. Fuck. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I need to go to the store today. I've been putting off going to the store. Because whenever I go to the store, I have a habit of spending. So, I wait till there's an actual need to go to the store. Oh, okay, that means that I have to go get the catnip today. Okay, this fallout in the heaven in Amphion, beyond physical existence. Wait, I thought that it was all beyond. Okay, he appears as 3 large discs. Now, how many of you think that doesn't come? I don't understand the Trinity. The 3 large discs. You know what I understand? Maiden, Mother, Crown. That would be like, I guess, paganism, Wiccanism stuff version of the Trinity. Yeah, it existed before Christianity. Go figure. It existed before Judaism. In fact, yeah, there's one for the guy too, so now they've just basically taken the guy. Yeah. I could still make something to just make fun of all the religions in one fell swoop. I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. I need to calm down. This world really has no place for the easily excitable. I'm easily excitable. I'm also autistic. I have lots of issues. And I deal with them every day. Personally, I hope that my grandmother was lying to me just because people are not kind to people with autism. They're not! My mom jumped states because it was already starting. We can do anything that we want to her because she can't feel it. And my teacher asked me if the blood covering me... I mean, I was obviously, hurt myself, and she had the nerve to ask me if I killed my dad. I'm sorry. I was not only way too young, regardless of the things that my father was, teaching me, there was no way. I was in no way, shape, or form skilled enough. And I was also behind him. I mean, I couldn't even move. I didn't understand what was happening. And it's different. The feeling of your mind shattering is different than the feeling of your world shattering. In a child's world, everything revolves. There's always someone that your world revolves around. You know, I thought that my dad was the strongest man in the world. That he was awesome and great. I loved my dad. And I still do. So you know what? The moment that he dropped to the ground covered in blood, his eyes were blank. His hands were cold. And he wasn't moving. He wouldn't get up, no matter how many times I cried and screamed. That's the last memory that I have of my father. At the same time, it's not. Later that same day, I went back. I was rushed to the hospital. Beyond all the blood loss and whatnot. My mom and the teacher came up with a story that, I fell on the playground. I had a cut from my shoulder to my hip, horizontal. I've talked about this for a number of years. I still have the scar. The scar actually goes quite a ways. It's just, sometimes I can only tell where it is because I know where it is. It's been a number of years. Yeah, I've grown boobs since then. Stretched, it grew with me. Old scars. It's faded over time. Whenever I become dehydrated, actually, my scars pop out. And since it's very difficult for me to hydrate, use a medication that dehydrated my body, made it necessary for me to drink lots of liquids. I preconditioned my body to be used to being that way. So, it's near impossible. It's only, since having kids that I've been able to. At all. Basically, your body adjusts to whatever you have to go through. Those medications that they put kids on, they change their body forever. There's no going back. I'm not saying, that people shouldn't take them. Just saying, make sure that you know what it's going to do with them first. You have to know what you're setting up your kids for. I've spent years trying to get my body to the point where I can lose weight. I can't. Or I can, and it comes back too easily. Oh yeah, I met lately. I know exactly what my faults are. Here's the extent of what Depakote can do to you. At one point in high school, I was essentially a fat anorexic. Bulimic. I went to the bathroom and puked. I looked in the mirror and was disgusted. I was always hungry and I hated myself for it. At one point, I went to school and I chewed a piece of gum. That didn't work, so I went bulimic. The medication gave me the urge to eat food. I didn't want to eat, but I had to. I had no choice. And, it didn't help that at home I wasn't really eating anyway, unless we had company. Which of course, wouldn't be disputed, because people saw that there was food. Nobody saw what happened whenever they went there. And she's dead now, so my grandfather will never admit what happened. Not in a million years. And you know what? I can just find peace with the fact that my grandmother can't hurt anybody else. Because she used to brag to me about how she did it before. And got away with it. Even things I hadn't seen her do. I will forever have to remember. Her intention was to get me to sign my adult rights, my rights as a person, over to her as a guardian. When I wouldn't, she stopped locking me away with people against my will. It didn't happen with my will. It's just, whenever I was an adult, there was a possibility, She didn't have the legal right to, I guess, push me in a corner and say, I don't even understand this. When people are under 18, I guess you just psychologically are not wired to listen to them. But as I got older, my grandmother didn't fear me. She said that after I turned 18. She wanted to change my diagnosis again, get control over me. My diagnosis was changed lots of times. To the point, I'm surprised nobody investigated this. Why didn't anybody investigate that somehow I went from Asperger's to bipolar depression to a slew of other diagnoses that I can't even list? I can, tell you snippets I remember hearing. Why? Because I was listening to this while undergoing extreme trauma at home. At one point, they did actually say ADHD. ADD, but the person who said that was writing a book on it. They actually got in trouble for diagnosing a bunch of kids that didn't have it. Apparently their parents were able to recognize and fight that. They got in trouble because other psychiatrists stepped in. Unless a psychiatrist steps in, you have no hope. A psychiatrist has to come in and tell them and vouch for you. You cannot stand up and say, I do not have this. I do not see and hear things. I do not want to kill myself. I do not think that my cat is a person. I cannot stand up and say that. I have to have a psychiatrist speak for me. This world is totally fucked up. If you cannot stand before someone and tell them what goes on in your head, and they can't believe you, they have to turn to somebody else. Anyway, that's beside the point. That's an asshole. Everything's so vague. But the person who created this is awesome!